The theme of tonight's episode is people that have fired me or wouldn't hire me. I was such a drug-addled mess. This was generically what happened. I either was able to ingratiate myself right away because I had a lot of good talent and I could keep up when we were in the shit, which was the biggest mistake because I always ended up just drinking and drugging myself out of the job. I did a year at Raquel, with Thomas,
really?
And that was great. But he and a couple other guys found me in the liquor room, drunk from the night before, passed out on the floor. When he saw me for the first time, I don't know, it was like 10 years ago, I was helping a friend. He literally walked across the room, gave me a hug, and whispered in my ear, "I thought you were dead." And then I moved to Minnesota, I got well, and things got dramatically better for me. My whole face is numb. Wow. Wow. The smell back here at this part of the sheep out in the desert, fantastic. These little curved pieces here are the intestine, and then this is the stomach lining. I'm Andrew Zimmern. I'm the host, co-creator, and co-executive producer of Bizarre Foods on the Travel Channel. What fascinates me about the world is food is the ultimate lens through which to view another people. When we go into a city, we can explore that city's history through the food. When we go tribal, we're able to, through the food, discover how they think and how they feel. When you share food with other people, you end up talking about the things you have in common. There's no way to escape it. Even if they haven't spoken a word to me in 3 days, because I'm suspiciously weird and white, if I'm eating their mom's food, they will look at me, and at some point they're obligated to say, "What do you think?" It's a little salty, it's a little fishy and putrid, but it is very, very tasty. As I sit there and I go, it is. It's like when someone comes into my home and my wife makes her tater tot hot dish, I look at them and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. Yeah, I came to New York for the Scripps Network upfronts. I come into town, I want to have fun for a couple hours and go see some friends and hang out in a couple restaurants and eat a couple of good things. Met a bunch of friends at Osteria Morini. And I come here all the time when I'm in New York because I just think it's great rustic Italian food. Marissa, this is Nikki, Marissa. Marissa was one of the interns at our production company. The most painful 3 months, brutal. My friend Nikki, who's also my publicist. My friend Jordan, who just moved here from Minnesota, and his girlfriend Taya, also from Minnesota.
She's not my girlfriend.
You're not his girlfriend?
His girlfriend will kill me.
Does life get any better? We're just eating a snack, have a drink, and then off to Forgione's?
Yeah.
This is a grazing night. A couple little snacks always ends up dragging on for, at least 45 minutes longer than anyone else's version of eating a couple little snacks. Number one, because I'm a serial over-orderer. We'll do prosciutto, speck, coppa, lardo, fagottini. The favas and peas and the lamb crudo. I'm looking for the filled...
Maybe the capelletti with the truffle and ricotta?
Oh yeah, we'll do 2 orders of those, because we'll need 2. Michael White, who owns the place, is a friend of mine. The chef who started this restaurant for Michael is a guy named Bill Dorler, who's a fantastic chef. Ossie has been here originally when they opened, and now he runs the place.
So it's a little treat from us for you guys. This is 4-month aged prime rib. And we do it 2 ways. We cook it and we do carpaccio style.
That just looks beautiful. The brilliant part of it to me was that they were able to say, well, what would happen if we let it go twice as long in the aging room as is normally thought appropriate? Now I should tell you, but I doubt very much whether any of you have ever eaten beef this old. 120 days is a third of a year. If beef is aged 24, 36 days, it's a miracle. If you get it aged 45 days, it starts to get really finessed and antique. If you go 120 days, the flavor of the meat is so different.
Wow.
Even great steakhouses won't go this old. I mean, that really was, I laughed when the waiter said the beef flavor is very focused. I'm like, you mean like dank and almost cheese-like, funky, almost, it tastes like the forest floor in a damp, sort of fetid way. I mean,
creates a flavor that is like no other. It just melts in your mouth, tender. It was just crazy good.
That's ridiculously good. Just beautiful funk to it. I mean, really beautiful. And what's this?
Lamb brains and veal sweetbreads.
People go, oh, brains and sweetbreads. But if you didn't tell someone what that was, they'd scarf it down.
It's got an interesting texture. It's like marshmallowy.
If you saw one of my New York episodes, we have pictures of the 80-year-old women making these pastas. When you taste these, the quality quotient is insane.
Michael White made a name for himself cooking pasta. There are many people who feel he's the best pasta cook of his generation. I've not eaten pasta cooked by anyone in America in the last 20 years that's better than his. Think about making all of those tortellini, those little two-sided ravioli, the espelette. Just blew my mind.
The precision with these things, you just won't have its equal.
That is like, oh my God. I'm leaving you guys. I'm going to stay here with my new favorite thing, the pasta.
This is the worst part of my life, which is sitting there doing this and getting frantic emails from producers of my show trying to figure out how to make something work that right now isn't working.
We were able to get out of Marini with our appetite somewhat intact and make our way over to Marc Forgione's restaurant.
What would you have described yourself in the 70s?
I will tell you about the 70s, Nikki. You weren't born yet. It was a very exciting time for some of us. You know, pot got you really high and it wasn't expensive. It was very simple. Life was so easy. Is Marc still here?
Yes, darker than that.
Marc Forgione, Iron Chef. A lot of people think that guys who cook on TV are TV chefs. Not so this guy. And the thing that I like most about hanging out with him is I always remind him that his dad fired me after half a day at an American Place 30 years ago. An American Place was a landmark in the history of the food scene in America. I was a mess. I deserved to be fired 1 hour after I went in the door. It was a miracle I lasted half a shift there.
I didn't even know my dad was a real chef. I just thought he was a guy who went to work every day and had a restaurant. You know what I mean? I didn't think anything of it. Yeah, American Place is one of those restaurants that really changed the way Americans eat. You know, my old man, people like Alice Waters, Jonathan Waxman, you know, all these guys are really visionaries. When you're a teenager, you find a summer job to make some money. I didn't know it at the time, but my job to make some money over the summer was working in one of the best restaurants in the country. And by the time I was 18 or 19 years old, you know, I know it sounds crazy, but you know, I knew how to make a consomme, but I didn't know that other people didn't know how to do that. It was just, well, you don't know how to make dinner, dude? Like, I'll make dinner. The food here is American through and through. You know, America to me, especially being from New York, you know, it's a melting pot. I like to have fun with what we're doing. You know, you can go anywhere and just have dinner.
I'm loving this.
So I told you we were going to mess with your senses a little bit. First, everybody take the ceramic spoon. This is called a Szechuan button. So place it in your mouth and roll it around with your tongue. Like, don't swallow it. It's like an herb. You want to like wake it up in your mouth. Right? And your mouth is going to start to tingle a little bit. You're going to then follow it with the sashimi spoon with avocado mousse. You're going to breathe in a wasabi and mint cloud.
Wow.
Then you eat the rest of the tartare, which is a kona tomachi with a little avocado and fresh wasabi sauce.
Full-on sensory overload. Here's what's so frickin' brilliant about it. You gotta be so spot on perfect in terms of technique, flavor, and how you pull that off, because otherwise people are laughing at you.
Yeah, the cloud thing we've been doing for about 6-7 months now. And you know, when you see the whole visual of it, it's not something you see every day in a restaurant.
For me, this is why I eat out. If I want to take a simple piece of fish and throw it on the grill and put it over some green vegetable with a little bit of sauce that I made in the pan, that's not why I eat out. That's how I cook at home. I eat in a restaurant like this because I'm curious about what a chef can do within the boundaries of the realm of ingredients and techniques that you're constrained with.
What?
I also told you I was going to mess with your emotions and your sense of childhood and all that stuff. So this is a fully loaded baked potato. This is what I need you to think about while you're eating the next course.
I love this.
Oh my God.
I love this.
This is crazy.
All of that sparks a thought and a feeling and creates a relationship with the food. I think that's the purview of what great restaurants should be.
So these are the ravioli filled with creme fraiche, a little parsley, chives, red pepper flakes, a little bit of lemon zest, a touch of truffle oil, and some raw shallots. Now this is a stock that we actually make with baked potatoes. And there you have what we like to call the baked potato. I think emotionally everybody has an idea or an attachment or a flavor profile when you think of a fully loaded baked potato.
Smell that. What does it smell like? It's a fully loaded baked potato.
When you bite into that creme fraiche ravioli with the fried potato and the bacon and the scallion and the butter and all that stuff, all of a sudden you're looking at a baked potato, you're eating something that tastes like a baked potato. I'm sure it kind of made you short circuit a little bit.
And it's a very simple idea. I just think it's brilliant. When it's done right, it's brilliant.
Anything else I can get you, let me know.
Love it. Thank you. A wrong car. Oh, fantastic. People working out.
The nice thing about New York City is that restaurants are open late. The nicer thing about New York City is that chefs are actually in their restaurants. You know, Jonathan and I have known each other for a long time.
Jonathan Waxman belongs in that generation of chefs who helped define what American cuisine is today. He was at the forefront of bringing California farm modernism into New York City when he opened up Jams. And what's incredible is that Jonathan Waxman has been inspirational and relevant to 2 generations of American chefs.
It's a beautiful kitchen you have here, Jonathan.
No, it's a dump.
I heard that you're the Chicken King, and he thought it was funny that he was going to make chicken for the Chicken King.
I had decided that I wanted to make Jonathan the chicken wings. You might as well bring coals to Newcastle. And I mean, famously, a man who's built a career almost about roasting the perfect chicken.
I wanted to cook you this dish because in the great tradition of drop-lid Chinese chicken dishes, this is my favorite. It's a 1,000-year-old Chinese grandmother recipe that I learned from a Chinese chef in New York who taught classes at the Y in the late 70s, early 80s. When you eat this, you'll taste it and go, oh my God, I know, this is Chairman Mao's red sauce. I mean, it's really easy. But then when I went to China for the first time and I had someone make it, I insisted on learning it from them. And then I had those fabulous chilies from my friend Yu's farm, and I was like, well, this is gonna be fantastic. There are people right now that are talking about doing Chinese restaurants and doing some of those classic old dishes.
But there's very few people that know how to do it.
Correct.
That's the problem.
Correct.
The master chefs are,
Correct.
you know,
Correct.
they're old and they're all gambling, you know.
you wanna-
It's true. I mean, always it's funny when,
it's
you know,
very true.
Cecilia Chang used to tell me, you know, the best chefs were the ones who are always the best gamblers.
I don't think there's anything more fun than sitting around and shooting the shit with guys who really know what they're talking about and telling stories and engaging in an exchange of ideas.
By the way, while we're waiting for this, would you please tell the story of your dad and those dishes?
My dad, who was like an intrepid diner, he moved from the Bronx to California because he knew the weather was better and the food was better, which is true. But the best thing was going to this restaurant called Sun Hun Young, which is on Washington Street in downtown Chinatown in San Francisco. And he refused to sit on the ground floor with all the gaijin, all the non-Chinese, but the third floor was only Chinese, only family, only banquet style. And one of the dishes, I remember when I was a little kid, they brought me this thing, and it was parchment chicken. And I must have been chicken thighs, soaked in a marinade of soy, ginger, whatever, wrapped inside parchment paper, and then deep fried in the parchment paper. And you eat it in the oozy sauce and the paper, and you lick the paper, and oh my God, it's the greatest thing in the world. I'm trying some of this sauce. I'm sorry. I'm going in here.
That's the stuff. But that is Chinese grandmother food.
And my father just passed away, and God bless him.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. It was his passion to eat that well. I mean, and Andrew, cooking the way you do reminds me a little of my dad, honestly. Because my dad had this sort of penchant for really spicy things that had lots of acid, onions, garlic, ginger, you know, Chinese spices. And I was like, it's kind of cool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That's really, really sweet.
He once cooked a
That's the great thing about food, though, because I had people who talked to me about who reminded me of my grandmother while they were good. It is the greatest thing in the world about what we do is that you can make a memory like that come back. My first stir fry, we had a wok in our house in 1966 when my mother finally saw one in a store that she could get one because she made this thing that was chow mein that I called chicken a la gush. I still make it. It's my mother's old chow mein recipe with a lot of celery and, you know.